You can't stop my shine, bitch. Bitch, you can't stop my shine, bitch. Bitch, you can't stop my shine, you pussy ass bitch. I'm WB4L, and y'all let's go. What's good, YouTube? We back with another New Orleans video, New Orleans reaction, bro. It's the demon of New Orleans, Jamal Smith. It's a nigga from the Cali who was allegedly giving the 39ers trouble, bro. It was alleged. No, it wasn't alleged. I think it's in paperwork. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I know they tried to kill this nigga a lot of times, but they failed. But he arrested for a homicide, and I think he got life or something like that. I don't know, but I know he got cooked for a homicide. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe, like, comment. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. Share this with your mom and your cousin, your brother, everybody, man. I don't cuss. But sometimes I cuss. It might cause a little fuss. Let's get it.
Jamal Smith was one of the deadliest shooters in New Orleans, and today we're breaking down the shocking and brutal story behind why he's serving a life sentence. Jamal Smith came up in the Calliope projects in New Orleans. Like a lot of projects, Calliope was built for working families who wanted a cheap place to rent while they saved up enough cash to buy their own crib. Back in the day, it was a nice area full of musicians, teachers, and other working class people. But in the 80s, everything changed. When crack cocaine came to New Orleans, it turned a lot of neighborhoods into war zones. Drug dealers in the Calliope project started fighting over territory, and bodies were dropping in the street. There were a few major guys trying to take everything, and the biggest dealer was a dude named Sam Scully Clay. Scully was moving serious weight in Calliope and had a lot of dudes working for him. But in '87, he got killed and the violence went to a whole new level. Nobody was running the hood anymore and everyone wanted to take over.
They gonna lie, them drugs, they do it though. Like the dispute over drugs, that's how a lot of stuff gets started, you know what I mean? That's how a lot of stuff gets started. Motherfuckers selling weight and then they get to come in, bro. It coming in with a lot of other people want to sell way more. It just, all I'm gonna say is, but that's where a lot of killings start from. You know what I'm saying? Drug dealing and girls. That's it.
That's when Calliope really turns up. Between 1993 and 2004, over 80 people were murdered inside the Calliope projects. It became one of the most notorious hoods in the city. And after Hurricane Katrina came through in 2007 and destroyed some of the buildings, city officials made a plan to shut it down. Some new buildings were built in 2012 after Master P stepped in to help. Master P is a southern rap legend who started No Limit Records. He came up in the Calliope projects and wanted to give back to the community, so he linked up with the city to build 175 new units. Then the original Calliope projects were all demolished a couple years later in 2014. But taking down the old buildings didn't slow the violence down at all. Before Maul jumped off the porch and became one of the most active dudes in the city, Calliope had already been at war with a crew called the 39ers. The 39ers were formed when dudes from a set called 3NG and another set called G-Strip linked up and started putting pressure on the ops. The 39ers were allegedly involved with dozens of murders, but the one that turned Maul into a shooter is when they killed his cousin, Omig. Omig was also affiliated.
They go vap though, bro. When a nigga get killed though, bro, they need to turn you up. Like I got some cousins from New Orleans, bro. I know if they get hit, like I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Affiliated with the crew called the Cut Boys, who was housed with Master P's brother, C Murder. Master P wanted to get out of the trenches and bring everyone with him, but C Murder wasn't on the same page. It's not clear how much work he was really putting into the trenches before he got into the rap game with Master P, but rumors say C Murder was a wild dude who loved being in the streets. In 2001, C Murder allegedly upped his strap and almost killed a nightclub owner for not letting him into a club with his gun. Then in 2002, C Murder allegedly shot and killed a teenager named Steve Thomas outside of a different club. Steve Thomas was only 16 when he was killed and used a fake ID to get into the Platinum Club.
I heard about that though. I heard about C Murder, bro. That's how that nigga doing life right now. He ain't never coming home because he killed the nigga outside the club. But they say C Murder wasn't no gangster though. He was just like a nigga that just get to the money and shit. I heard like C Murder wasn't even no gangster. I heard a lot of that from a lot of people. And I seen that on the interviews though. I ain't gonna say he was a gangster. I don't know the nigga, but I know he got arrested. He doing life right now for killing nigga. Like he said Steve Thomas outside the club, man. I mean, it's more evidence on you too, bro. Like if it was alleged or they got no video where you up the gun on a nigga because he wouldn't let you in the club and you kill that nigga outside the club, I ain't gonna lie. You ain't really getting away with no shit like that because it's like you get caught with some drugs, right? And the police pull you over. And then they pull you over again and they say you had drugs. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Harvey, a city right outside of New Orleans. Steve Thomas was a huge fan of C Murder and snuck into the club to see him perform. There were around 300 people in the club when a huge fight broke out. A bouncer later testified that he saw 15 dudes beating Steven. Then the bouncer witnessed C. Murder himself pull out a gun and fire a shot that took his life. C. Murder was arrested a few hours later after causing a disturbance at the House of Blues. At the time, he was already out on bail after the situation with the nightclub owner and was quickly brought to jail. He's been locked up ever since. Most people think C. Murder is innocent in the murder case though. Two of the key witnesses said that the police threatened them if they wouldn't make a statement against C. Murder. And during the trial, one of the jurors didn't want to convict him and said she was allegedly bullied by the rest of the jury so badly that she started throwing up. C. Murder was convicted and got hit with a life sentence, but the rest of the Cut Boys kept the pressure up in the streets. But by 2009, Maul's cousin Omig was allegedly one of the last
he said he did that shit.
dudes left in the crew. He was also a rapper, but the streets caught up to Omig before he could make it in the industry. On March 15, 2009, Omig was driving his Lexus down Magnolia Street when someone popped out of a sunroof in another whip and started letting off shots. Omig tried to escape, but it was obviously a planned hit because another shooter in a different car started hitting up Omig's whip too. The ops dumped over 20 rounds into Omig's Lexus and he ended up crashing the whip. His homie got out.
Bro, you be hearing them like, bro, them 3G niggas is really ruthless. Like, why? And why they always coming out the sunroof or stand on top of a sunroof? And then you always hear they shoot a nigga over 20 times. Like, them niggas making a statement. Like, you ever take a poem was like, man, you kinda gotta watch out for Lil B, cause you'll be like, man, he's kinda like, you already know who, if Lil B clipped him. Nigga shot a leg and died, bleed out. Nah, that might not be Lil B. Nigga shot 3-4 times in the face, you be like, is that Lil B? That's what it was for like 3G. Nigga get shot a couple 4 times. Like, nah, I ain't 3G. They ain't 3G. Ain't them niggas. Nigga get shot over 20 times with a chopper. You be like, damn, nigga, that's them 3G niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The car and ran off on foot after they
was just ruthless.
Wrecked. Omig's homie made it to the hospital and survived the bullet that hit him, but Omig was found dead in the Lexus when the cops pulled up to the scene. According to reports, a dude from the 39ers named Contrell Hickerson, aka Black, was behind Omig's murder. He didn't go down for the case, but the cops hit him and 20 other alleged affiliates with a huge indictment back in 2013 and accused Black of being one of the major shot callers. During Black's case, his homies T-Bone and Big Wash both flipped and started working with the cops. T-Bone told him Black was involved with at least 2 different murders, and Big Wash said that Black started getting power in 3G back in 2002 after he allegedly killed a dude from the Calio projects named Alexis Slam Williams. Black ended up getting hit with a 100-year sentence, but Omig's cousin Maul wanted to get it back in blood. After Omig was killed, his cousin Maul allegedly started sliding on the 39ers and killed a dude named AP. The 39ers didn't wait long to clap back though, and in 2010, they caught Maul and almost took him out. In 2010, Maul and his homie Lester was driving down the street when a minivan pulled up on them and someone started letting off shots. Lester caught a bullet in the head and tragically didn't make it out alive, but Maul got hit and was able to recover. 5 39ers were booked for the shooting, including one of the most notorious killers in New Orleans history, Gregory Rabbit Stewart. And to understand how lucky Maul was to make it out of the situation alive, we gotta break down just how violent Rabbit was. Rabbit had a wild come up in the streets and saw his first murder when he was just 4 years old. Then when he was in 6th grade, one of his homies got shot and died right in front of him. He hopped off the porch early and some OGs in the neighborhood taught him how to go on hits. Rabbit joined the 39ers and caught his first body when he was just 16 years old and killed a dude named Calvin Brumfield. Calvin Brumfield was the first person Rabbit killed, but a couple of years later, he went on a crazy killing spree that shook up the whole city. In February 2010, Rabbit murdered a dude named Kendall Faveberg, who was allegedly affiliated with the crew called the Press Park Gang. Press Park had shot and paralyzed
Wait, that's the summer one, niggas. How they think out the summer?
Rabbit's homie Percy, so Rabbit slid on Kendall Faveberg and killed him as get back. Then just a couple months later, Rabbit murdered Quelton Broussard. Quelton and his homies had beef with the 39ers and killed Terrence Butler right in front of an OG 39er named Merle Lofray and another affiliate named Daryl Franklin. The 3 of them were at Butler's mom's house when Quelton Broussard and his homies rode through and started letting off shots. After they killed Butler, Quelton Broussard and the other shooters drove off, and that's when Rabbit, Daryl Franklin, and Merle Lofray loaded up their guns and hopped in their own whip. They chased Quelton down and lit up his car almost 50 times.
Damn.
Then 1 month after he killed Quelton Broussard, Rabbit and his homie Pound murdered a dude named Rayshawn Jones. Rayshawn Jones allegedly repped a crew beefing with the 39ers called Ride or Die, and that's why Rabbit took him out. Rabbit had already been involved with 3 murders that year, but he wasn't finished yet. Just 8 days after Rayshawn
about Rabbit, nigga, Jamal Smith. What's this got to do with Rabbit?
Jones was killed, Rabbit and his homies killed Lester Green and almost got mauled too. Rabbit ended up flipping on the 39ers and told the cops everything about the murders he was involved with. Rabbit said that he went to high school with Maul, and the 39ers had beef with him because Maul allegedly killed AP. Rabbit and some homies had gone to the courthouse, and Rabbit spotted Maul getting out of a car. He told his homie Nelly to hold Maul so he wouldn't leave. Then Rabbit left to get some guns and spin back around. Nelly chopped it up with Maul started up the courthouse while he waited for Rabbit and the other dudes to get back. Rabbit knew that if Maul spotted him, he would have known something was up, so he stayed down in the van when they pulled back up to the courthouse. Nelly hopped back in, and then the whole crew waited down the street while Maul was in the courthouse. When Maul's ride showed up, they drove right past Rabbit and the rest of the 39ers. There were cops all around because the courthouse was right there, but Rabbit told the guys, "Man, fuck it, man, we about to just make history. We about to pull this off."
That's how you know a nigga fiending for murder, bro. That's a demon right there. That's a real killer. I think, man, fuck all that. We ain't about to wait for this nigga. Like, we ain't about to wait for this nigga because he had court. Fuck that. We about to hop out right now. We about to make history. I'll be looking at that nigga in the car like, make history. Nigga, you about to make history yourself. You got me fucked up, nigga. I ain't about to kill a nigga about no courthouse. When you tell nigga on the street, we gonna hit his ass. That nigga trying to hit a nigga outside the courthouse. That nigga was angry. That nigga was trying to catch something.
Pulled up next to Maul and Lester's whip, and Rabbit's homies Rat and Red hopped out and tried to shoot. Their guns were on safety. Man, we about to just make history. We about to pull this off. They pulled up next to Maul and Lester's whip, and Rabbit's homies Rat and Red hopped out and tried to shoot. Their guns were on safety though, and weren't firing at first. There was a woman in the car with Maul and Lester, but she was able to run away while the 39ers were trying to get their guns to work. Unfortunately, Lester and Maul didn't have time to get out there though. The 39ers turned off the safeties and lit the car up, and Lester was killed by a shot to the head. Lester wasn't Maul's only homie that the 39ers killed that year though. A few months later, Maul's homie Man was in a whip with a rapper named Magnolia Shorty when the 39ers caught them too. Magnolia Shorty was cool with a lot of street dudes, but wasn't actually in the beef. But that didn't stop the 39ers from killing her. Man was allegedly putting all kinds of pressure on the ops though. He was tied with a New Orleans rapper named Soulja Slim. Soulja Slim grew up in the Magnolia Projects, which also had a reputation for being one of the wildest hoods in New Orleans. Soulja Slim had a pretty wild come up and dropped out of high school in 11th grade to start selling heroin. Slim allegedly caught his first body in '95 in an area of New Orleans called Terra Lane. Slim had some homies who live in the East and used to buy weed after hitting the studio, but he was also beefing with some dudes who live in the 11th Ward, which was close by. One day,
I didn't even know we had 11th Ward in New Orleans. I'm so serious, bro. I didn't know they had 11th Ward. I really did. I just found out we had a second one too. Wait, no, I know we got a second one too again. That's the belt. But nigga, I didn't know we had a damn. A lot of shit I don't know about New Orleans for real, bro. Like I said, I ain't from there. I got a family from there, so don't act me.
when he was in Terra
How the hell you know Slim caught his first body in '95? How the fuck do the niggas be knowing that?
Lane, Slim spotted someone who was cool with the ops. He started getting paranoid and thought the dude might give up his location.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. Yeah, Slim
So
killed
Soulja Slim decided to take him out before he got a chance. Slim even talked about the situation on his song My Jacket, where he raps, "You busted stacking from round me with all that junk claiming. In '95, I ran on Terra Lane and busted brain in, smoking blunts and snorting cane with my girl Big Reed. Till I started spooking out, thought a nigga was trying to kill me. Niggas feel me." And Soulja Slim came out moving weight in the streets.
No, I'm just saying though, like that nigga was not no cap rapper. Like a lot of niggas be capping. Soulja Slim was not lying, bro. That nigga wasn't lying, bro. Everything that nigga talked about, he really lived it. He really did it. And that nigga's on that dog food for real too. I heard when Soulja Slim ran out of drugs, he used to ride a plug. That nigga was a fiend, bro. But hey, he needed that. But hey, that's crazy.
Started popping off in the rap game when he linked up with No Limit Records. Working with No Limit was a huge win for him, but Soulja Slim was still active in the streets and got arrested for armed robbery. Getting booked slowed him down, but then Soulja Slim came back to the rap game and really started popping off. He hit #1 on the charts when he linked up with his homie Juvenile, and nobody expected the tragic situation that was about to go down. Even though Soulja Slim was making waves in the industry, rumors said he was still neck deep in the trenches, and that's why he ended up getting killed. Soulja Slim was allegedly robbing drug dealers, and there's a rumor that he robbed and killed another rapper in the city who was connected to a major drug dealer. The dealer allegedly put 10K on Soulja Slim's head, and not too long after that, somebody caught Soulja Slim outside of his mom's crib and brutally executed him.
I think about it though. Back in the day, $10,000 was like shit, like 50,000. I don't know. Back in the day, $10,000 though. Like when Soulja Slim got killed, 2003. Yo, the my sister boy, bro. That shit was bread back in the day, bro. Real talk. So what I'm trying to say is like, bro, that was some backdoor shit, brother. How nigga know where your mama stay though? You get what I'm trying to say? You like you gotta always like look at these niggas' death like nigga coming out the food spot. Soon as nigga come out the food spot, you get wet up. Like, how do niggas be knowing? Okay, nigga could follow you. Nigga could follow you, right? It's for sure, but like that's a nigga mama house. Soldier Slim was just no regular nigga, bro. When you a killer, bro, you gotta move a certain type of way, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Shooters don't get caught like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Shooters ain't get caught like that game. I ain't gonna bad. So that's why I'm saying it's a backdoor situation. Plus, nigga had allegedly $10,000 on his head. Man, a nigga will give you up for $10,000. I'm so serious. Any nigga give you up for $10,000. Niggas ain't loyal how you think. Let a nigga put a price on your head. You think that nigga your partner. Let a nigga be like, man, I got 50,000. Man, they gonna give you up in a fucking heartbeat. I'm telling you, it's a backdoor situation, bro. It's always a back. I gonna say it's always a backdoor, but most of the times it be backdoor and be the niggas that be at the funeral. It be the hoe.
The cops booked a dude named Jarrell Smith for the murder, but couldn't convict him because nobody would talk. Jarrell Smith was allegedly involved in at least 3 other murders other than Soldier Slim though, and in 2011, Jarrell Smith was found shot to death in the street.
Yeah.
Jarrell Smith ain't the only dude who might have been involved with Soldier Slim's death though, and this next guy is allegedly the reason why Maul's homie Man Man ended up dead. A dude named Stephen Kennedy was allegedly on the hit when Soldier Slim was killed. After Hurricane Katrina came through and destroyed a lot of New Orleans in 2005, a bunch of people from the city ended up moving to Texas, and that's where Man Man allegedly clapped back for Soldier Slim's death by killing Stephen Kennedy. Man Man already had a target on his back for allegedly murdering Stephen Kennedy, but then he became one of the 39ers' biggest ops after they found out that Man Man wanted to kill Merle Lofray. Merle Lofray was the biggest shot caller in the crew, and he knew that Man Man wanted to kill him, so Merle sent Rabbit and 4 of the goons to handle the situation. Man Man had just come home after being locked up. At the time, the 39ers ran a club called Sports View, and one night, Rabbit and his crew spotted Man Man there. The 39ers got their guns and went outside to wait for Man Man to come out. Rabbit and some of his homies sat in his whip outside, while some of the other 39ers stayed inside so they can keep an eye on Man Man until the rest of the crew what kind of car he was leaving in. Rabbit's homie AD saw Man Man leaving, but he told Rabbit and the other shooters the wrong car, and an innocent woman almost got killed. Luckily, Rabbit and his crew realized it before they let off shots though. Man Man survived that night, but it wasn't long before the 39ers.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. You just die. You get to really thinking about certain situations. You just be like, damn. They say they were waiting for the nigga Man to come out and they got the wrong car. The innocent woman almost got killed. So imagine they got the right car. Like, no, sure they still be alive, probably, bro. She probably still be alive, bro. I ain't saying his fault. I'm just saying though, like, waiting for the nigga, they got the wrong car. And then when they really caught up to him, little shorty was in the car with him. She would still be alive, bro. If the niggas ain't get the wrong car. I'm just saying.
Caught up to him again. On December 20th, 2010.
Allegedly though, that's what they saying. I'm not sure. That's what this nigga said. What he said.
Rabbit's homie Rat called him up.
If you're not using your VA loan benefit, you might be leaving money on the table. The VA loan is basically home ownership, but
and said they knew where Man Man was. Rabbit was just chilling at home when he got the call, but then the crew jumped straight into action and slid on Man Man. Rabbit and his homies, Freaky, T-Red, and Rat all got their guns, and their homie T-Bone drove them to the Calio projects. Man Man wasn't there, but Rabbit knew that Man Man was tied with Magnolia Shorty and that she lived in the Georgetown apartments. The 39ers crew went straight to the apartments and saw Magnolia's whip pulling in, and they decided to wait outside by the apartment gates. There was a speed bump right there, and Rabbit knew Magnolia Shorty would have to slow down, which would give the shooters more time to get the job done. When Magnolia Shorty and Man Man tried to leave the apartment complex, all 4 of the 39ers shooters hopped out and started lighting their whip up. Magnolia Shorty got hit first and crashed the whip. Then the 39ers surrounded the car and kept shooting until Man Man and Magnolia Shorty were both dead. Man Man's death was a huge loss for Jamal. He already hated the 39ers, but Man Man.
How you finally get to this nigga? Damn, bro. It's like you nigga. Is this shit about damn? They say nothing about this nigga to the damn 12th minute mark into the beginning. Like, what did you? All this shit was nothing about this nigga, but leading up to like, bro, this is a cool ass video for that. I ain't gonna lie, bro. And that's crazy how they did him, bro. That's crazy how they did him, bro. They did them. They did them bad though, bro. I heard Magnolia Shorty got hit 26 times, bro. If she was innocent, nigga, why you had to hit her that many times then? I understand, like, a nigga killed your homie, y'all was in smoke, but like, damn. Damn, bro, they really overdid. Like, that's messed up, bro. I know they got you know how footage, body cam footage, and you know how body cam footage, you know how murder videos be coming out, videos coming. I'm telling you, bro, somebody gonna get that video, bro. I'm surprised that video not on recording, bro. Like, did they have cameras in that era back then?
Getting killed like that turned him into even more of a savage and led to one of the most brutal shootings in New Orleans history. On July 28, 2018, Maul and one of his homies spotted an op from the 39ers named Jeremiah Lee outside a bar on South Claiborne Avenue. One of them was holding a rifle, and the other was strapped up with 2 pistols. They tried to take Jeremiah Lee out on sight, but he spotted Maul and the other dude and took off running. There was a big crowd of people standing outside the bar, and Jeremiah tried to hide behind them. But Maul and his homies didn't care who they hit as long as they killed Jeremiah. They started letting off shots into the crowd, and at least 10 other people got hit.
What?
Maul and his homie killed Lee, but 2 innocent people named Taisha Watkins and Kershaw Jackson were tragically murdered as well. Taisha Watkins worked at a hospital in Houston and was just in New Orleans to visit some friends. And Kershaw Jackson was a concrete fisher who was out in Houston and was just in New Orleans to visit some friends.
What they said? Well, I be saying about y'all out of towners, bro. Y'all won't come to parade scene. Y'all won't come party, bro. I'm telling you that bit. Them bitches get the going off. You better get the fuck. Them niggas say they spy a nigga outside the bar. They ain't give a fuck who was with them. They ain't give a fuck who was outside the bar. As long as they think they talking, don't give a fuck who get hit. That's what I be saying, bro. Niggas don't be caring, bro. Niggas don't care who they kill, bro. They'll kill an innocent kid, bro. As long as they get their target, they don't get no fuck who else get hit. That's fucked up too. Got them. I ain't gonna say he got them people killed, but damn.
Friends. And Kershaw Jackson was a concrete fisher who was out to get drinks after work. After the shooting went down, Maul and his homies tried to destroy the evidence and burn a stolen whip they used as a getaway car. The cops knew that Jeremiah Lee was affiliated with 3NG and the 39ers, and they thought he was involved with killing an op named Kareem Dowell back in 2016. Kareem Dowell already survived one shooting but had his leg amputated. Then the ops caught him again and brutally murdered him while he was in a wheelchair. Jeremiah Lee was supposed to be in court the month after he died for allegedly shooting at his own brother in 2015. He was also facing 2 different drug cases. Back in 2010, the cops found him with crack cocaine. Then in 2011, he got booked again for selling more crack to an undercover officer. Jeremiah Lee was supposed to go to court in 2013, but for some reason, he was found incompetent to go to trial. So the judge put him in a treatment program until he was ready for court. Someone had also tried to kill Jeremiah Lee a month before the Claiborne shooting. It's not clear who was involved with that shooting, but rumors say someone from the Calio projects was behind the trigger. The shooting at the bar left 2 innocent people dead, and what made the situation even worse is that Jamal Maul should have already been locked up. Back in 2013, he got booked for carrying a gun as a felon. Someone called the cops when they saw Maul with a strap on the 3400 block of Verrado Street, and he tried to do the race when the cops pulled up to the scene. Maul and his homie Robert Stewart both ran off in different directions, and Maul tried to toss his pistol with an extended clip. Stewart almost got away, but then his pistol got stuck in the fence he was trying to get through, and the cops caught up to him. Jamal Maul already had drug and gun charges on his record, so the judge hit him with a 15-year sentence after he pleaded guilty in 2014. Maul got out early though and hopped right back in the trenches. At one point, Maul decided to jump in the booth and start rapping. He dropped a couple of tracks in 2019 under the name Ink Sicko, but Maul didn't get a buzz off the music, so he stayed in the streets instead. It took a couple of years before the cops made any arrests for the Claiborne shooting, but in 2021, they officially charged Maul with 3 counts of second-degree murder and 7 counts of attempted second-degree murder. The cops never got the second shooter for second-degree murder for the Claiborne shooting, but in 2021, they officially charged Maul with 3 counts of second-degree murder and 7 counts of attempted second-degrry murder. The cops
7 counts of attempted second-degree murder. This nigga was fucking tripping, bro. What? This what you get for trying to hit motherfuckers outside a bar, and you don't care who you hit. I mean, this just life, bro. Man, they ain't give a fuck who got hit. They ain't give a fuck. Like they put his ass away.
never got the second shooter from the Claiborne
He ain't right,
situation.
though. He ain't
They
right.
think a dude named Robert Blizzo Levine was involved with the hit. Blizzo was allegedly involved with killing another op a couple of months after the shooting on Claiborne too. The cops booked him for murdering a dude named Dalton Money Train Stone in September 2018, but they never officially charged Blizzo for the deaths of Jeremiah Lee, Taisha Watkins, and Kershaw Jackson. Jamal Maul was already locked up on gun charges when he got hit with the murder case, and in 2023, he pleaded guilty to possession of marijuana, possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime, and possession of a firearm by a felon. Coming up in a place like the Calio projects doesn't give you a lot of options, and unfortunately, Jamal Maul got sucked into the trenches just like everyone around
What he
him.
got?
And after he started losing friends to the beef with the 39ers, Maul picked up a gun and tragically left 2 innocent people dead in the street, and now he's serving life in prison.
Oh, life? Damn. I thought I didn't know he got convicted of murder. Damn. Ooh. Hey, that's the story of Jamal Smith, bro, the demon of New Orleans. If y'all like this video, bro, subscribe, like, comment. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we gone. Love y'all, man. Gang.